It's nerve-wracking up here. How does some of y'all do this every single week? My name is Mark. I made some notes. I use he, him pronouns, and I've been coming to Forefront for about 2.5 years. I want to talk a little bit about why I give. So I grew up Catholic. My family is an immigrant family. We moved from Lebanon to Dallas, Texas when I was 2, and the Catholic churches there were kind of what my parents were used to. So I grew up Catholic. But 1980s Texas, I was saved. I was saved out of the strictures of Catholicism into conservative evangelicalism, and I dove deep, right? I led worship, led small groups, went on mission trips. Look, I'm the guy that sits in the introvert corner over there. We were dancing on the streets of Russia to convince Russians that they were going to hell. So, you know, it was heady stuff. Yeah. Moved to New York in 2001 and started what we now call deconstruction. It was really called backsliding back then. So I backslid my way through theology books that were not evangelical, backslid my way to meeting and, you know, loving people that my church said I should probably avoid. And church and I started to become kind of chalk and cheese, right? It didn't fit well together. It felt like I kept going. Hebrews 10 tells us to not give up in meeting together. So I was like, okay, I won't give up in meeting together, but it just did not feel like home. Fast forward, left New York, came back in 2018. My partner Melissa came back in 2023. And when we were looking for a church, a friend of mine who did not identify as a Christian said, look, I don't go to church anymore, but if I did, I'd go to this one. So we came, and I remember our first Sunday service, looking over at her eyes closed, her hands raised in worship, and then the sermon happened. And honestly, Venida, I don't remember if it was you who preached or even what was preached. I just remember sitting there in the back being like, all right, okay, this is a church that's meeting me where my faith is. It's a church that doesn't just accept that there are questions, but digs into the questions and asks them better. And it's a church, most importantly for me, that centered the love, the mercy, and the justice of the Jesus that I fell in love with when I was 13. So that's why I give to Forefront, is to maintain and grow this home for people like me and like a lot of us, I think, who come from religious homelessness and religious trauma and still want to be able to worship the Jesus that we may have grown up with. So that's why I give. So if you want to join me in giving, there are a bunch of ways to do it. You can give with the baskets that are going to be passed around in the congregation. You can give one-time gifts on Venmo up here. You can set up a recurring gift. But also supporting this church and building this home in New York City that centers love, mercy, and justice does not just mean giving financially. Not all of us can give financially at every time. So also, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities, and if you're interested in them, the volunteer opportunities are at that link as well. And that's all for me. It's over to you, Robbie, for the liturgy.